You think you are just average. You walk into a room unnoticed. You assume women don't see you. But what if I told you they do? They see you. They feel you. They react to you. They just won't say it. Not because you are attractive, but because admitting it would shift the power. This isn't about vanity. It's about truth. And today, I am going to expose the 8 signs that prove you're far more attractive than you've ever believed, backed by psychology, grounded in science, and designed to wake you up. Women become visibly nervous around you, and you think it as awkwardness. You walk into a room. She glances at you, then quickly looks away. Her voice shifts pitch. Her hands fidget. She drops her phone. You think she is just clumsy. But neuroscience says otherwise. When someone finds you attractive, their amygdala, the brain's emotional processor, lights up. It triggers a cascade of micro responses, elevated heart rate, pupil dilation, and yes, nervous behavior. This isn't random. It is biological. Women want to tell you this because vulnerability is risk. Admitting attraction means surrendering control. So instead, they act off, they avoid eye contact. They laugh too hard. They stumble over words. And you misread it as discomfort. But here is the truth. Discomfort is often desire in disuse. Psychologists call this arousal misattribution. The brain feels something intense, and the person assumes it as anxiety. But it is attraction. You're the stimulus. And she is trying to regulate her reaction. So next time a woman seems awkward around you, don't dismiss it. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for your presence. You're not the problem. You're the trigger. And that nervous energy? It is a silent compliment. One she'll never say out loud, but her body already did. You're more magnetic than you think. And the world has been reacting to you this whole time. You just didn't know how to read the signs. Until now. Expanded key point 2. You get instant service or special treatment in public spaces. You walk into a cafe. The barista smiles wider. You're next in line, but somehow you're served first. You ask a simple question at a store, and suddenly the staff is bending over backwards to help. You think it is luck? You think it is coincidence? It is not. It is attraction, disguised as hospitality. Psychologists call this the halo effect. It is a cognitive bias where people assume that if you're physically attractive, you must also be intelligent, kind, or competent. This bias doesn't just live in dating, it bleeds into every interaction. Research from Harvard and Stanford shows that attractive individuals are perceived as more trustworthy and are treated more favorably, even in professional or neutral settings. But here's the twist. Women often won't compliment you directly. Instead, they'll show it through behavior. They'll linger longer. They'll linger help without being asked. And you mistake it for good customer service. But it is not just service, it is signal. Its kind of treatment is subtle, but powerful. It is the world bending slightly in your favor, not because you demanded it, but because your presence shifted the energy. Women and even men respond to it unconsciously. They don't say it. They show it. So if you've ever wondered why strangers seem unusually kind, why you get upgrades without asking, or why people seem to like you without knowing you, it is not random. It is recognition. You're radiating something magnetic, and the world is reacting. Stop brushing it off. Start noticing the pattern. Because once you do, you'll realize you are not invisible. You are influential. And your attractiveness isn't just seen, it is felt. Other men subtly compete with you. Even when you're silent, you're standing in a group. You're not loud. You're not flexing. You're just present. And suddenly, another guy starts talking louder. He cracks jokes, he brags, he throws in subtle jabs. You didn't provoke it, but you triggered it. Because whether you realize it or not, your presence shifted the dynamic, and now he is performing. This is primal. Evolutionary psychology explains it through intersexual competition, the silent war men wage when a high-value male enters the space. It is not about aggression. It is about dominance. And dominance doesn't always roar. Sometimes it walks in quietly and makes everyone else feel smaller. Men pick up on cues that women want to verbalize. They notice when she glances at you more than him, when her body angles toward you, when her laugh is louder after your comment. And instead of admitting it, they react. They posture. They interrupt. They try to reclaim the spotlight because you stole it without trying. Eyes as one of the clearest signs of your attractiveness. Not because women told you, but because men felt threatened. And that threat isn't about muscles or money. It is about energy, charisma, presence. The kind of magnetism that doesn't need validation because it already commands attention. So if you Vest ever wondered why guys act weird around you, why they suddenly become competitive, or why conversations shift when you enter, it is not random. It is recognition. You're not just attractive. You're a disruptor. And the room knows it, even if you don't. Start paying attention. Because when other men start performing, it is not about them. It is about you. And the silent power you carry, the kind that doesn't need to speak to be felt. You're often accused of being a player. Even when you're not, you're polite. You're respectful. You're just being yourself. And yet you're labeled player, heartbreaker, to smooth you didn't flirt. You didn't chase, but somehow. You're guilty of being desirable. And that accusation, it is not about your actions. It is about your effect. It's a psychological projection. When someone feels drawn to you but doesn't want to admit it, they project. They assign you a role that explains their own emotional discomfort. Calling you a player is easier than admitting, I'm attracted to you, and it scares me. Research in social psychology shows that people often stereotype attractive individuals as more socially dominant or romantically experienced, even without evidence. It is a defense mechanism, a way to rationalize the tension they feel around you. And women, especially, may use this label to protect themselves from vulnerability. If they convince themselves you, dangerous, they don't have to confront their own desire. But here is the deeper truth. Being called a player without playing anyone is a sign of raw, unfiltered magnetism. It means your energy speaks louder than your words. It means your presence alone creates emotional waves. And that S-power doesn't shrink from it. Don't apologize for it. You're not responsible for how others react to your authenticity. You're responsible for owning it. Because when people start labeling you without knowing you, it is not judgment, it is revelation. They're telling you exactly how you make them feel. So if you've ever been misunderstood, misjudged, or accused of being too much, congratulations. You're not just attractive, you're referable. And the world is trying to make sense of you because you don't fit into their boxes. You break them. Women mirror your body language unconsciously. You lean back. She leans back. You cross your arms. Moments later, she does too. You tilt your head, and suddenly hers follows. You think it as coincidence. It is not. It is chemistry, and it is one of the most powerful. Silent indicators of attraction, psychologists call this. Limbic synchrony. It is the brain's way of saying, I feel connected to you. When someone is drawn to you, emotionally or physically, their mirror neurons activate. These neurons unconsciously mimic the posture, gestures, and even speech patterns of the person they are attracted to. It is not a game. It is biology. Women won't tell you they're doing it. Most don't even realize it. But their bodies speak louder than words. Mirroring is a subconscious attempt to build rapport, to signal alignment, to say I am with you without ever speaking. And the more subtle it is, the more powerful it becomes. And the studies in behavioral psychology show that mirroring increases trust, likability, and emotional closeness. It is used in negotiation, therapy, and yes, dating. When a woman mirrors you, she is not just copying you. She is syncing with you. She is trying to match your rhythm, your vibe, your energy. But here is the catch. Most men miss it. They're too focused on words, compliments, direct signals. But attraction rarely announces itself. It whispers. It echoes. It reflects. So next time you're talking to a woman and notice her movements shadowing yours, don't ignore it. Don't second guess it. That is not mimicry. That is magnetism. And it is one of the clearest signs that you read more attractive than you then ever believed. You don't need validation. You need awareness. Because once you see the signs, you'll never unsee them. And you'll realize you've been captivating the room all along.